Hello friends, so today what we're going to be doing is talking about constructor functions within JavaScript. Constructor functions are a lot like classes in other languages. It's formed to create multiple objects, and it's used to collect many objects into one class, and it can create many objects that have the same properties and methods. So in other languages you might do classes like class thing, and that's how you do it in Ruby, for example, and you would do a def initialize and give it some things like a name, age, and then within that you could do at name equals name, at age equals age. That's how you would initialize classes in Ruby, where they actually have actual classes, but in JavaScript it's a little bit different. You do it through things called constructor functions. So let's go ahead and create a function for a constructor function for a person class, or a person object rather. Function, person, and then we'll go ahead and invoke it. And then here we'll give it a first name, a last name, and an age. So each time you create a person object, it will have the opportunity to have those three properties. You don't have to define all of these when you're creating. Some of them can be left undefined, but right now this is what each one kind of expects for a person to have. Okay, so in order to make those happen, whereas in Ruby we were going at age equals age, that's how we were setting our variables. Here, the way that we do that is using the keyword this. First, this followed by the argument name. So this dot first name equals first name, and you always have to put a semicolon there. So function person, first name, last name, age, this dot first name equals first name. We have to do it with the other ones. This, because what this is pointing to the object that is being created at the time. So this object's first name is equal to the first name argument that is passed in. Pretty simple to understand. It's not that tricky. Last name, and then let's do it with age. This dot age, and let's equals age. Okay, so to create a new person, let's set it to a variable x equals, and this is how you do it, new person. In other language it might be person.new or something, like using dot notation, but here's just keyword new, object name. So new person, Adam, or let's just do Garrett, last name Ross, age 32. Now let's go var div. Let's just set up another variable, and let's go document. And if you don't understand this, I made a video about it a couple of days ago, so I'd suggest you go back and check that out. Document get element by ID test, and I'll explain what all this is that I'm doing. Inner HTML equals x dot, let's do first name. All right. Okay, so what I'm doing right here, I'm making a new person object. I'm setting it to a variable of x. Then I'm making another variable called div. You can call it whatever you want, but I'm calling it div. And then I'm going document, and what document I'm talking about right here, this is a given object within JavaScript that we're given. When you're referring to document, the document object is your HTML document that you have it linked up. And you see this div ID is test right here. So I go document get element by ID. So from my HTML, get the element by ID, which is test. And if you look here, it is test right there. So now that I have that stored in a variable, I'll go div, which is the document, test, the document get element by ID test. I'll go div, and I'll act on it with another function called inner HTML, which replaces the inner HTML. Div.innerHTML equals x, which is this variable, which is this new person, dot first name, which is this that's been passed in right here. So what it should spit out on the HTML, what do we put? Garrett. It should put that onto the page. So let's refresh, and it does. Garrett right there. So that's pretty cool. So you could do, you know, any of the attributes, age. You can go. Man, that's really making me mad. You can go any of it, last name, whatever. So that's fine. So what if we wanted to make a function within here? Well, it's not super hard. Let's say that we just had X right here. We did a video like this the other day. If we did X right here, it would just say object, object. We can override that default toString method. So it would just be this dot toString and another anonymous function equals function. Invoke it, curly brackets, and then you would just, whenever this is called, you would just go return this dot first name plus, and let's just say that we wanted it nice and formatted, plus this dot last name plus why didn't these give me pluses right here? This dot first name plus space plus last name plus a space, and we'll say is this dot age plus so whenever we use the toString function, so let's say x dot toString and invoke it down here. Whenever we use that, it should be formatted pretty nicely. Yeah, each object, Garrett Ross is 32 years old. Let's do one more function. Let's just go this dot, and let's say we were wanting to do a comparative type thing. We did this in the last video. I'm just showing you how to do it with constructor functions. Same way, anonymous function. Let's say we wanted to check someone's age. And then curly braces. And you have to separate all of these with semicolons rather than commas in constructor functions, rather than just creating other objects where you just use commas. If, and then this dot age is less than or equal to 18, then we're going to want to return this dot first name plus is not an adult, and then else we don't need the curly brackets. You don't even have to put else here, but I do it anyways. Return this dot first name plus is an adult for sure. Okay, so save that. Then down here we can just do x is adult, invoke that function. Garrett is an adult for sure because this object that we created is 32 years old, right? So that's how you make the skeleton of new objects that you're going to make, right? And the reason that you would do that is because each time you made an object, let's just say that I was making this object in normal syntax, I would have to write all of this, but instead of saying this dot first name and setting it to what I passed in, I would just be like Garrett equals first name, or first name equals Garrett, last name equals Ross, da 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 da. So it's just a lot of extra coding. So this way I can set up multiple. So let's say we just do var y, var z. So right here we're just going to quickly make 3 persons. Person, and then Jacob, Ross. What is he? 34, 35. Var Z equals new person, and we'll just do John Ross. And I think he's like 63. Okay, so now we've created 3 objects already. So we can just switch this from X to Y, see if Jake's an adult. Jacob is totally an adult. We can just go Y. Oh, I gotta get that out of there. Jacob Ross, 35 years old. Let's just do it for Z. John Ross is 63 years old. So basically, you can create objects that have the same functionality for them. And more importantly, let's just say that out of all these people that we're creating, we wanted to create a person. Var A equals new person. And we wanted that person, let's just call him Mike. What's his name? Mike Smith. And let's say Mike Smith's 17, right? And let's say that with Mike Smith, we wanted to add something like favorite team. We can just add it there, and then add it in here. We just put like the, I don't know, the Bulls for his favorite team. And we create that. And then here, A, and then the only thing that we have to do is here, change our I think all of that should work. Mike Smith is 17 years old and his favorite team is the undefined. It didn't take that. No, yeah, because I didn't do this. This dot favorite team equals favorite team. Semicolon at the end. And it should work. So Mike Smith, 17 years old, and his favorite team is the Bulls. Now, but all of these other objects, if we switched it from A to X, you're going to see that that's undefined because I didn't give one to Garrett. It doesn't break it. It doesn't make it to where it won't work. It just says that that is undefined. And you can add in as many of these as you want. So that's basically a rundown of constructor functions in JavaScript. I kind of got a little bit off topic, but I was just wanting to show you that you can add things dynamically as you go. You don't have to fill out each individual argument for each individual object. Some can be undefined. You can create, you can override functions. You can create your own functions, and you can make objects on the fly. I'm going to be getting into like loops and arrays and things like that with some videos later. So that kind of all goes with a lot of this. So just stay tuned and keep learning. Cool, cool.